All right, so here's the home link. It tells you to imagine that you've just played Property Pandemonium. Well, you didn't because we were home. We didn't do that. So, whatever. But you can still do this. Okay, so the first one says, draw a rhombus. Okay, you should have drawn something that looks about like that. And it's best to put these little ones because it shows that one little slash means all of those things with one little slash are the same length. Additional names. Well, you could have called it a parallelogram because all opposite sides are parallel. It's also a kite because a kite means that the two sides that are kind of meeting at a corner, touching, have the same length. You could have been a trapezoid because it has at least one set of parallels. And it could have been a quadrilateral because everything four-sided shape's quadrilateral. All right, next up. Oh, get eraser. Got eraser, you need it. Okay, next one. Parallelogram. Your drawing of a parallelogram, standard one, looks about like this. Okay, where these, well, the book didn't lie. I'm going to do, usually parallelograms are kind of like that. It's got to have two pairs of parallel lines. Okay, other things I could call that, I call it quadrilateral. It could also be the one I drew could be a trapezoid, but it couldn't be a kite because these two like touching each other, they're different lengths, so it can't be a kite. And it's not a rhombus because they're two different lengths, but you could have done a parallelogram that was a rhombus, so, you figure it out. Okay, the last one is draw a kite. Well, if I drew a standard kite like this, where these guys are one length, these guys are the other lengths, then what else could it be other than quadrilateral? That's it, because it's not parallelogram. Nothing's parallel. It's a kite because of that. It's not a trapezoid because trapezoid means at least one pair is parallel. I think that's all it could do if you did a regular. Now, if you did a kite that's something different, like you could have done a square even. Square is a kind of kite, technically, because the two sides touching each other are the same length. And these two sides are the same length. So that could be a kite, and you could call that all sorts of things. You could call it a parallelogram. You could call it a rectangle. You could call it, All right, I hope you're sort of getting this. It's a little hard, but you know what? It doesn't really matter that much. It's just trying to get you to understand that some are bigger categories and some are the smaller, more specific ones. Now, let's do the last stuff. 2, 9 divided by 1/3. What am I doing? 9 divided by 1/3. So you're dividing by something less smaller than 1. The answer is going to get bigger. It's how many thirds are in 9. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 makes 1. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 makes 2. It's going to multiply up, get you to 27. All right, let's go to number 3. 4 divided by 1/5. Same thing. How many fifths are in 4? 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5 makes 1. You got to go up to 4. It's going to take you 20 of those. All right, moving on. 2 divided by 1/10. Now, wait a minute. Whoa. 2 divided by 1/10. How many 1/10ths are there in 2? That's going to be 20. And the last one is it really problem 5? Yeah. They didn't pull any fast ones on you here. It's pretty straight up. 12 divided by 1/4. How many fourths are in 12? And it's going to be 48. And that's the home link. So you are done with 7.7. Congratulations. You're smarter as a result.